Hello again. Welcome to another Fresh from the Theater vlog. Not that it has anything to do with the movie I'm going to talk about today, but for anyone who might be interested, today that I'm filming this, March 27th, is my birthday. And as a little gift to myself, I decided to go see the new horror film by Jordan Peele, Us. And in case anyone's wondering, yes, I have seen Get Out. I thought it was a great horror film. Had many layers, a lot of very well done commentary, very scary, and what did I think of Us? Well, I liked it. I did. It's not as great as Get Out, like it's not as deep or doesn't have as much commentary, but it's still pretty cool. Like, this is a very visual horror movie, and visually it looks great. The atmosphere, just everything, the way the characters look, just... This is a genuinely creepy film, and a lot of it is owed to the direction and the actors in particular performances. Although, it is a little confusing at times. I read that Jordan Peele, one of his biggest inspirations for Us was The Shining, and I can see that. It has a bit of a non-linear style to it at times. It does reveal a little bit more about its plot than, say, The Shining did, but it works in its own way, and I was not disappointed with this movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a good, if you're a horror person, I feel you will definitely like this movie. Jordan Peele, he's only made 2 movies so far as a horror director, and he shows he really knows his shit with this genre, and especially with the directing part. His writing, well, pretty good in a lot of areas. I don't feel it's as strong as his directing. Like in Get Out, some of the dialogue felt a little, how can I put this, a little too cliche by the numbers. I would have understood if it won the Oscar for Best Directing. I was a little surprised that it won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Get Out. We're here to talk about Us, and the writing in Us, interesting story. The dialogue felt very good between, especially the main family, played by Lupita Nyong'o. I hope that's how her name is pronounced. I'm bad at pronouncing names. And Winston Duke. They play this couple, Adelaide Wilson. Sorry if I don't get that right. And Gabe Wilson, and their kids are played by Shahadi Wright Joseph and Evan Alex. And as a family, like, in all the scenes in the beginning where they're together and you get an idea of who they are, they felt like a real family, the way they go back and forth, the way they give a little shit to each other, the way they joke. Yeah, I felt they felt very real, and I like that they were engaging. Gabe was a little annoying, but he got better as the film went on, and early in the film we see Lupita's character as a kid on her birthday at a carnival with her parents, and the main thing that sticks out to me about this prologue is bad parenting. Like, her father's getting drunk, playing games, her mom, like, she has to go to the bathroom and her kid doesn't want to, and instead of taking her with her just to make sure she's safe, she says to the drunk dad, make sure she doesn't go anywhere. And then also the kid, well, the parenting is a little questionable. The kid wanders off. I know some kids can really wander away, but man, what a stupid little kid. And she just goes on the beach, goes into this house of mirrors. It has the slogan, discover yourself. And against one mirror, we see her reflection behind her as her back is turned. When she turns, her reflection doesn't turn. And then we see this, her do that face that you see in all the publicity trailers, photos. And it's a good creepy intro, and then we get one of the coolest opening credit sequences I've seen in a while, where it's just a long panning back shot from a rabbit in a cage surrounded by a bunch of other rabbits. And we get this great, almost lullaby-ish, at least at first, and then it becomes just full-on chanting opening theme, very creepy. Kind of reminds me of Rosemary's Baby's theme. And then we see them as adults, her as an adult going on a vacation with her family. Her son is into magic tricks. Her daughter, because she's a teenager, is all about doing stuff on her phone, whether it be music or just searching shit. And her husband is a joker, just a guy who likes to make jokes, doesn't take things too seriously. When they're at their vacation home, she's nervous about going to the beach because it's the same beach that she had the traumatizing experience, which we see through flashbacks. She couldn't speak for a very long time after what happened in the funhouse. And her husband, in a scene that's a little funny, but also a bit dickish, plays on, like, the death of his mom or somebody. I think he says grandma, so maybe it's his grandma, or maybe it's the kids, saying, "We haven't been here since she died, it'd be nice to go to the beach." And I'm like, wow. That's low. That's a low move to get the wife to let them go to the beach. And they go to the beach and they meet up with this other family, this white family that they're friends with, and the mom in that family is played by Elizabeth Moss, who I like, but she doesn't do a ton here, at least until the latter part of the film. And she's like the third billed person in this movie's credits, and while she does well with what she has, she's not given much, and I get the feeling this feels like they probably just hired this particular actress for, like, name recognition, maybe to draw a few people in. That's what I'm getting. Maybe that's not it, but that's kind of what it feels like. And they're at the beach, and there's a bunch of weird shit going on. And I'm just going to call Lupita's character Aid, because I can't pronounce the full name. Aid, when she was a little kid, before she had the incident in the Hall of Mirrors, she spotted a guy with a cardboard sign that said Jeremiah 11:11 on it. And at this beach, they passed by a dead body, holding the same sign. And her son, while wandering off, spots somebody who looks like they have blood dripping. And then, a little freaked out by what happened on the beach, they head home. And everybody's settling in. Aid and Gabe talk to each other, and she apparently, for the first time ever, opens up about what happened when she was a kid. And while they're talking, all of a sudden the son comes in and tells them that there's a family out in the front yard, and they really jump right into this. Like, I can't tell how, I don't remember what point the creepy family that we all saw in the trailer showed up, but it happens pretty fast. Like, we had like the setup, the introductions to the characters, and which is normal, but they really jumped into it here. No real big complaints, just really felt like they rushed and jumped right full on, and from this point the whole movie just becomes a long fucking roller coaster ride of creepiness and just terror. With this creepy family, this movie's been advertised as the doppelganger horror film, and these people look just like Aid and Gabe's family, and they're all wearing red suits, carrying giant fucking scissors, and this is where I feel like the acting is at its strongest. All these actors did incredible jobs playing the doppelgangers, who we find out call themselves the Tethered. Like, they look scary, and the way they move and walk, the body movement is so smooth. you'd almost swear that Michael Myers was their body coach, and Lupita Nyong'o, she plays her doppelganger, whose name is apparently Red, and out of all of them, she's the only one who actually talks, and this is probably my biggest criticism of the movie. This character, Red, whenever she talks, it kind of took away from the film. Like, it's creepier when none of the doppelgangers, the tethered, talk, but when Red does, her voice, the voice that Lupita went with, it just, for me, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, I thought it sounded fucking ridiculous. Like, this is one of the most ridiculous voices that is supposed to be heard as intimidating or threatening since Christian Bale's Batman voice. Yeah, that's the best thing I can compare it to. Christian Bale's Batman voice and the voice Lupita is doing as Red, just, it sounds so, we are the tethered, that kind of stuff. I don't remember all the dialogue right now, but yeah, it sounded just so silly. I almost laughed, and the thing that saved it is just the creepy visuals. The visuals is what saves these moments from just being fully ridiculous. I don't know what to say, I can't take that voice seriously. But they move on from that pretty quickly, and it becomes like a break-in scene for a while, and the next 30-40 minutes are the family just fighting to survive, and Gabe, the husband, like, he got beat down pretty bad. The daughter runs for her life. The son is faced with his doppelganger, who is called Pluto, and when Pluto takes off, like, the son has a monster mask he likes to wear, but Pluto, when he takes his mask off, we see that he's burned, and he has a fascination with fire, Pluto. So, yeah, when I saw that face, I was like, yeah. Seeing this family fight on their own, each by themselves, to get out of the house, survive, was just so completely thrilling and suspenseful. And even though the Gabe character was a bit annoying, I didn't want to see him die, and it was cool when he, it was both cool and a little funny when he killed his own doppelganger, and the family then barely escapes by a cunt hair, and they try to make it to their friend's vacation home, where we get Elizabeth Moss and her family, and she has like twin daughters who are probably the most annoying characters in the film, just because they do that twin thing of talking unition, which just not sure how many. I haven't met a lot of twins, so I don't know how many would do that in real life. But in the movie, it just seems stupid and going against the horror trope, which Jordan Peele likes to do. The white family gets killed first, and Elizabeth Moss, who I said doesn't get a lot to do. Her character is pretty two-dimensional, but she is such a good actress. Like, when her death scene comes, she acts the hell out of her death scene, to the point that you feel a little for her. But at the same time, the death scene of this family, there's a bit of humor to it. Like, the husband, who was just drunk off his fucking ass, got his Amazon Echo to play a Beach Boys song, and Moss, as she's dying, croaks out, gurgles out, call the police, and the thing, mishearing her, says, playing Fuck the Police by NWA, and yeah, Fuck the Police plays, and the Wilson family shows up. They battle this other group of doppelgangers to the death, and my favorite of the deaths is when the daughter of the Wilson family, Zora, she just kills one of the twins, by taking a golf club and just beating her in the fucking head, and we see blood splatter. Like, these guys get covered in blood so much. And once again, big props to the horror movies these days for getting ballsy and not holding back on the kid deaths. Like, horror movies are really getting comfortable with killing kids these days. And I know that probably sounds twisted, but it's cool to see horror movies have balls again. And after killing this other group of tethereds, doppelgangers, it's hard to know which word to use. They sit down and they wonder, like, they wonder where the police are. They wonder what's happening. Then they turn on the news, and this is something else I like. Something I don't like in some horror movies that have supernatural stuff or just crazy shit is when it's something that shows that there's something paranormal or fantastic that exists and the rest of the world doesn't know about it. But here we see this is not just happening to this family. It's happening apparently all over, possibly nationwide. So, yeah, I like that. I like that this is like a big phenomenon and kind of gave me a little bit of flashback vibes to George A. Romero's The Crazies a little. And they quickly get together, get to the other family's car, and they have a run-in with Zora's double. And it's an intense part, and she has to, like, the double holds on, she has to floor, swerve back, the car just does everything to knock her off, and when she finally does, the mom, in a moment that could be seen as a little dumb, but she gets out, and Gabe, who's now, like, he was annoying in the beginning, but now he kind of is funny. He's like, don't get out. She got out of the car. Aid goes to the double of her daughter, and even though this double is evil, even though she's been trying to kill them, she's stuck in the tree, all twisted and broken, and she's like yelling out, ah! And it's interesting because this double looks like her daughter, so in a way it's almost like seeing her daughter die. And as she yells, Lupita almost affectionately goes, shh, shh, just in an almost comforting way. Just, that was a good moment. Subtle, but a little powerful when you really think about it. After that, they drive, and the movie's not over. They drive back along the beach town, and they see so many people are dead, and they come back to the area where their car is. Might think it might be outside their own home, and the car's on fire, and the Pluto double of Jason is there, and he's set it up so that their car will catch fire. And Jason, who found that Pluto will copy his motions, manipulates him into backing up into the burning car to burn alive. And Lupita just, she looks horrified because it's not her son, but he looks like, and he's a kid, so I get why she'd be horrified even though he's tried to kill them. I get it. Maybe it's probably the mother instinct in her. But then Red reappears, and she takes Jason and takes him apparently to the fun house Hall of Mirrors where it all started. Aid chases after her with like a fire poker, I think, and while going into the Hall of Mirrors, she discovers a secret door. And well, I know I've spoiled a bit. This is where we get into like the twists and the explanations. So from this point on, if you don't want to have everything spoiled, stop, go see the movie. Or if you have seen it and you just want my opinion, stay around. You have 10 seconds. Okay. Vita goes through the secret passage and goes down various flights of stairs underground under the carnival. And at the very beginning of the film, we had this little text, exposition text, talking about how there's a bunch of abandoned tunnels throughout America. And this plays into the ending, where as she's looking around, and in this area we see rabbits running loose. Also going back to the film's opening credits, because apparently rabbits are kept underground. And she finds Red, who's drawing on the chalkboard, and above they see Gabe and Zora, and as they find an ambulance, and they see a bunch of the people in red all over, forming a big connecting line where they're holding hands. And cut back down below, Red has drawn this kind of line on a chalkboard. I had to check the plot on the internet to just clarify a few things. They say that all the doppelgangers are, according to Red, they were created many years ago by the government in an attempt to control everybody, and didn't work, so they were kept underground. And the way they make it sound is the tunnels that go all throughout America were filled with the tethered, who are not on the same level of, I guess, intelligence as the people above, and they're basically retarded, and the way they talk, the noises they make kind of lend to that. And they're underground their whole lives, kind of forgotten by the people who created them. And wherever the people above are, they are beneath in that same area, wandering around, mimicking the motions of those above. Red talks about how she questioned her purpose or something like that. She feels she was being tested by God, as she puts it. And she and the other tethered are coming above, as she says, to make a statement against the way they were treated. There might be a little commentary here, but Jordan Peele didn't make a huge deal out of it as the stuff he covered in Get Out, so I guess it's all up to interpretation. And Red talks about how Aid, when she, her parents had her do dance, like ballet and stuff, to help her get over her PTSD. And Red below also learned to dance. And Red talks about how they're connected and they could have done a lot together, or who knows what they could have done, something like that. I might be getting a few things wrong, but I just saw the film and this is what I remember. And whenever Red talks, as I said, I can't take that voice seriously. And also, her whole, I get it, we need answers. But I almost wish there had been a different way of getting the exposition dump out other than Red, because just Lupita Nyong'o did a great job as Red, but when she had to talk, that's when it kind of fell apart. But she did a good job, and the two characters have a big face-off, and Red moves her body in the same smooth Michael Myers-like motions and mimics the ballet dancing, and leads to a big fight to the death where Aid finally kills her, finds Jason, and Jason looks freaked out and scared. And Aid says it'll be okay, saying it'll be like it was before. And I'm like, no, because everything above is still going on, and I think it would take who knows if anything's gonna go back to a semblance of normal after all the shit that's gone on here. Anyway, they go back up. They meet up with Gabe and Zora, and they get in the ambulance, and then we get the big twist of the film, which I'm a little mixed on. As Aid is driving, she remembers the initial encounter with her double at the funhouse, and we get this big wham of a twist where turns out Red, or the original Red, took the original Adelaide, and the original girl who was from above, they switched out, and the doppelganger, she grew up with the family, and this main character we've seen throughout the film is the doppelganger, and the shallow-voiced Red is the original Aid. So, yeah, that I had a suspicion, but so much shit had happened that the idea kind of left me. It's a cool twist, does confuse me a little. The Red, who we assumed was just the doppelganger from the beginning, the way she talked, she talked like she really was the original doppelganger, so the ending's a little confusing in that area, but I'm sure if I think about it more, I can just go with the flow of it all. But that was a cool horror twist, very Psycho-esque. And she looks at Jason and gives him a slightly mischievous smirk, and he quickly puts on his mask, like implying he might know, and we get this great shot, which I read, I just had to check. It's based on the long helicopter flying shot from The Shining, although because it's at the end, I guess you could say it's a little bit more of a resemblance to the original ending to Blade Runner. If you're a movie buff and you're engorged in film trivia, you'll get that little reference I just made. But yeah, we get this great final shot and great final song. Visually, it looks beautiful. And that's where it ends. The world is in a state of who knows what the fuck's gonna happen, and enough answers were given that I didn't feel like I did at the end of Hereditary. This movie had mystery, and while it's a bit far-fetched, like with the U.S. government shit, a little cliched, it was not as, and I'm in the minority, I think the ending to Hereditary was a little lame and just too simple, but the ending, or endings, of Us, well, they were over the top. I feel they worked better, and they felt very satisfactory, and this is not, I don't think this movie will be up for any major Oscars. It might. Who knows? Like, Get Out, I could definitely see as a film that got Oscar nominations. I'm not so sure about this one, but I like this one a lot. This is a straight-up horror, almost blockbuster type of film, and it was thrilling, gripping. The story, the writing could get a little weak or a little too vague at times, but in the end, I recommend it. On the 10-star scale, I would give it a 7.5, and on the 5-star scale, I think, just because, like I said, there were a few writing issues, a few too confusing moments, I think I'd give it a 3.5. I do like it a lot. It's a good popcorn flick, and I think that's fair enough praise, and hope you enjoyed this vlog review. Try to do my best, and if you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Maybe check out the other videos on this channel. And if you like those, subscribe. See you again soon. I have various reviews with my shows, James C. Reviews and Old School Trailer Hounds coming soon, and hopefully in a few weeks I get to do another one of these fresh from the theater vlogs.